This is Act 1, Scene 3.
Well, the pastor really preached his heart out about lust and coveting. I was impressed that he even knew the meaning of those words.
So that's what he said, covet. I thought he said lust and cover. I was thinking he was preaching to me because the way these women are lusting after my husband in here.
Dad, don't nobody want your man. Well, I, for one, don't want him. He's too young for me. I like a man who can handle the business. You know what I mean?
We don't know what you mean, so tell us.
Yeah, tell us.
Ladies, I've told you, we are in the Lord's house on holy ground. We ought not be talking about that kind of stuff in here.
Why not? God said be fruitful and multiply. You can't be fruitful and multiply if you don't have.
Now, Dot,
Oh.
the pastor was talking about lusting and coveting things that do not belong to you.
Like wanting another lady's man or hat. And speaking of hats, did you see that thing on Lula Bell today? Now, she was wearing that hat. I know it cost her a pretty penny. I wonder where she bought it at.
I believe she told me the Learner Shop on Main Street.
Oh, that's an expensive store. Somebody done hit the ball ticket.
Maybe she just saved her money and bought it. Or one of her children bought it for her.
She could have pulled a ball ticket and hit, but she had to have about $500.
Stop.
Sorry.
Look at your lines. Remember, we're reading this,
Yeah.
guys. It's got to be read
I know.
so that you'll get it. All right.
Sorry
Ready?
about it.
I'm not gonna start over.
Please.
Ready? We are going on the top of page 23. Ready? Top of page 23, Flossie, that's you. Top of page 23, go.
Doc, don't nobody want your man. Well, I don't, for one. He's too young for me. I like a man who can handle all the business. You know what I mean?
We don't know what you mean, so tell us.
Yeah, tell us.
Ladies, I've told you, we are in the Lord's house on holy ground. We ought not be talking about that kind of stuff in here.
Why not? God said be fruitful and multiply. You can't be fruitful and multiply if you don't talk about.
Well,
Now, Dot, the pastor was talking about lusting and coveting things that do not belong to you.
Like wanting another lady's man or hat. And speaking of hats, did you see that thing on Lula Bell today? Now, she was wearing that hat, and I know it cost her a pretty penny. I wonder where she bought it at.
I believe she told me she bought it at the shop, the Learner Shop on Main Street.
Oh, that's an expensive store. Somebody must have hit the ball ticket.
Maybe she just simply saved her money and bought it. Or one of her children bought it for her.
she could have pulled one of those ball tickets and had a hit for like $500.
She could have put it on layaway, you know.
Well, the Learner Shop won't let you put anything on layaway. They figure they are too exclusive to do that. Somebody will come in and want to buy it, and you can't see it to buy it if it's tucked away on a shelf, a layaway for 6 months.
Well, that's a pretty hat you're wearing. Haven't seen it before. Is it new?
Yeah. Edna, is it new?
No, it's not new. I've worn it a few times, but I keep it in my hat box when it's not in use. My son bought it for me on one of his out-of-town trips.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Lula Bell didn't have any sons to buy her no hat. They are known thieves. A couple of them in jail right now for breaking and entering.
Be careful talking about other people's children, because we all have one or two who are not doing the right thing. Anyway, did any of you found out anything about the church money? We have a right to know according to our bylaws and constitution.
You know, it's amazing our founders had enough sense to write a set of bylaws and a constitution without very much education.
You know, for a moment, I thought you was talking about the United States Constitution. You're right. The church founders had a lot more sense than we give them credit for.
Who was the founders? And any of their family members still a part of the church?
The church was started by some 30 former slaves who were worshiping in a brush harbor or in the balcony of the white people church. They wanted to worship in their own style, so after a few meetings, they asked the members of the white people church if they would help them organize a church.
Anyway, the word is we're behind in paying the church mortgage, and if we don't catch up soon, they're going to take the church.
We definitely can't let that happen. My great grandmother was one of the original founders of this church. My family grew up in this church and were baptized right here.
I thought we was going to have a meeting to talk about this.
Apparently, the deacons and the trustees met, and they decided that there was nothing to report to the church at this time. But what we need to do is raise the money and make our payments on time.
How did we get in this mess?
Well, from what I heard, we are spending more than we are taking in. You can't keep skipping the bills and think it is not going to catch up with you.
Well, we'll all have to give a little bit more money on Sunday mornings.
Well, I, for one, I don't have any more money to give. I'm doing good putting $10 in the collection plate on Sunday.
Well, if we want to keep the church doors open, we better get busy trying to think of ways to raise money.
No, we better find a way to get more people to attend the morning service. Seems like our attendance in the younger folks is down.
Word on the street is that one of those rich developers wants to buy our church so he can get his hands on the land and develop it.
Oh, I've heard that kind of talk for years. Don't worry. The deacons won't agree to anything like that without first talking to the members.
We need to do more to get people in the seats. We need to get the pastor to get more people in the seats. We're giving him all that money, and all he does is preach on Sunday mornings, occasionally come to prayer meeting and Bible study.
Oh my goodness. It's not just the pastor's job to get people in the pews. It's all of our jobs.
Well, I, for one, don't have time to be going knocking on nobody's door. What's the name of them people that be knocking on people's doors on?
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, them Jehovah's Witness. Every time you look around, they at somebody's door on Saturday morning, ringing their doorbell, knocking on their door.
I know what you mean, because the other Saturday morning I was in the kitchen cooking my breakfast in my nightgown, and the next thing I know, I hear a knocking at my door, and I'm standing there thinking, who in the...
Velma, watch what you're about to say.
Girl, you about to cuss in church.
Well,
You ought to know better. We need to wash your mouth out with soap. Besides, at least those Jehovah's Witness people are trying to tell people about Jehovah's God. Man, we need more people coming who are part of the sororities and fraternities. They tend to have more money.
Those type of people think they're too good to attend our church.
Let's get back to the subject at hand. When are we going to meet with the pastor, the deacons, the trustees to hear what's going on with our money? And see if there's somebody, excuse me, talking to them about buying our church. There should not be any secret since we are the ones who gave that money, even if it is only $10 a month.
Well, I give $10 a week, and sometimes that's a stretch for me. Seems to me we better start thinking about ways to raise some money for our beloved church.
Well, at my sister's church, they sell chicken dinners and fish plates to raise extra money for their church. She says they raise a lot of money that way. When I was growing up, I remember the old folks used to sing a song about come and dine.
Come and dine.
what kind of song
that?
is that?
What made you think of that song?
I don't even know. I don't know. Except we were talking about cooking and raising money, as well as growing our congregation. So it just came to me. You want to hear it?
Do we have a choice?
So we're gonna skip the song for right now, Come and Dine. And we're at the bottom of page 27.
Now, wasn't that precious?
I still don't see the
Yeah.
connection to our situation concerning the church money problem. We got to get more people with money coming to this church.
Those with big money don't want anything to do with us. They think they better than us because they went to college, got a degree, joined sister or brotherhood, and work perfect. They don't want have time to attend church and praise God.
In fact, once they get their degree, they move to a different part of the community, or they move to a different job for whatever reason.
Well, as I was saying, at my sister's church, they sell chicken dinners, hot dog plates, and fish plates to raise extra money for their church. She said they raise a lot of money that way. They sell tickets in advance so they'll have an idea of how much food to cook.
I've heard talk about that.
That sounds good, but who's gonna cook all that food?
Well, they have a group of ladies cook the food, the side dishes at their house, and they cook the meat at the church kitchen.
I don't like when people cook food at their house and bring it to the church for potluck suppers. You don't never know what you're getting. The food does not have a consistent taste.
What you mean?
If 3 people cook potato salad, like you say, might be raisins in there. Their 3 salads will taste different.
That's the truth. You right about that, Flossie. We need to be careful about who cooks the food.
Well, I'm telling you again, I don't have time to be knocking on no doors, and I definitely don't have time to cook no food for anyone. How much do they raise from these sales?
Well, I don't know exactly, but it must be a lot because they are able to meet their budget. I'm telling y'all now, we cannot lose our church to some developer who wants to tear it down and build some houses or anything else. Our church is one of the last things owned by us in the central business district.
Perhaps we need to have one of these meet before we decide to start having a chicken plate and a fish fry sale. I'm going to say it again.
You're
Not knocking on any doors, and you don't have time to cook for anybody.
Okay.